What large company's products have really diminished in quality since the company has grown? Discovery Channel / National Geographic. They used to have some great content, good documentaries and interesting stuff. Now it's too much fake ass reality gold digging porn shopping cartooning garbage. History Channel 2. Yeah, what a shame too. When I was growing up people used to mock it as the Hitler channel because it seemed WWII docs were always on, but at least that is history with a focus on war. I really do miss the nearly endless war documentaries, but also modern marvels, show about engineering and manufacturing, Mail Call with Ali Ermi, a few other shows that were cool and actually related to history. eBay. It used to be a giant yard sale. The final value fees used to be lower. There used to be listing fees which filtered out the listings unless the seller was serious about selling. It used to be possible to leave negative feedback for buyers. A few years ago my dad bought a used car from a dealer on eBay. Turns out the car had some serious mechanical issues that the dealer had intentionally disguised and not disclosed. When my dad left negative feedback on them, the dealer filed a complaint against my dad that got his account frozen. Took him a couple weeks to get it resolved. eBay essentially told him that this dealer does this often, but that due to the volume of sales processed by this dealer eBay would not act on it to have them removed from the site. Further, they would not reinstate my dad's negative feedback, even though it was truthful and accurate. Turns out, this is not an uncommon thing for eBay. I've seen people say that this is the difference between Amazon Marketplace and eBay. Amazon are pro buyer and eBay are pro seller. I can't say I know how much truth there is to that though. Bath & Body Works lotions used to be large, 10-ounce bottles and the fragrances were incredible. Then, they dropped down to 8-ounce bottles and kept eliminating their best fragrances and adding line extensions, room fresheners, candles, etc. But the price goes up and the lotions don't seem like really great stuff anymore. I only go to Bath & Body Works for the candles. I've gotten their lotions as gifts before and I'm just not impressed. Their candles are the best in the game. Panera Bread. I used to work at one when I was in high school in 2012. Fresh ingredients, awesome food, decent quality for a not too shabby price. They were bought out a few years ago. The difference in quality is astounding. They even got rid of the Gouda cheese on the bacon turkey Bravo to cut costs. Everything has plummeted in quality while they've raised the prices. I just scrolled for 5 minutes to find this. Astounding is the correct word. It's unbelievable how pricey yet terrible everything there is now. I think the worst are the salads. They're bowls of iceberg lettuce with the contents of a tiny, obviously pre-packaged kit of whatever the salad is truly supposed to be, arranged on top as a disguise. It's horrible. Everything used to be added by hand and now it's all portioned and rationed. Apple. Their products of recent years have shown that they try to improve their product lines as little as possible while maximizing their products' price as much as possible. I only go to Bath & Body Works for the can. It seems that Apple works very hard to make their products work well together, driving consumers to buy more of their products and less trying to make them work well independently. Pointless. I've gotten their lotions as gifts before and I'm just not impressed. Some guy I was watching said that Apple's philosophy is to integrate technology as a seamless manner, as if to say that the products are in a hierarchy. Use your Apple Watch until you have to use your iPhone. Use your iPhone until you have to use your MacBook. Use your MacBook until you have to use iMac. I think you get the idea. This really only works if your products are deeply integrated and work together. This personally makes a bit of sense to me, but of course I don't own any Apple products. Cadbury's chocolate. Totes gone to crap since the co was bought by Kraft. I remember visiting the Cadbury's factory on a trip to England as a kid. We all got cream eggs at the end, and it tasted so good. I came back to the UK as an adult a few years ago, spot some cream eggs in a supermarket, and remembering them from years ago, so I got a box. They tasted completely different, just like ordinary chocolate with cream in the center. I thought it must have been nostalgia that made me remember them tasting so good. It wasn't until later that I found out that they changed the way they make them and the ingredients they use as well. I grew up in that town. Every so often, the air would smell of chocolate. That factory employed thousands of people in the town, and Kraft promised not to shut it down, to keep everyone in jobs. That lasted for a little under a year. The chocolate factory is long gone now, and has been turned into apartment blocks. Amazon. I know it's not products, but their customer service and Prime benefits have gone downhill. I'm going out of town on Sat, and I ordered a bunch of cold weather stuff on Monday to help with the trip, all of it Prime saying it would be here Wednesday. Stuff ships on 2 saying it won't be here till Sat. Guy on the phone tells me I'm wrong and Saturday was always the delivery date and that there is nothing he can do. I'm honestly so sick of their guaranteed delivery dates. They are literally never right anymore. Look, do I really need most of this stuff in 2 days? Probably not. But the point is, I'm paying for a service, and said service proudly advertises 2-day shipping with guaranteed delivery by dates. So when nothing makes it to me by that guaranteed delivery date, it kinda just irks me. Is it enough for me to hassle with sending every item back for not arriving in time? Of course not, and they know that. So they'll keep doing it. I don't even mind that it takes longer, just stop telling me it's guaranteed by a certain date and feeding me the 2nd-day shipping line of bullcrap. I've been a Prime member for years and have noticed that as well, not regularly, but a lot of things come in 3 days instead of 2. I ordered something off Walmart.com right before Christmas, and they had a guy in a rented rider truck deliver it the day after I ordered, which was before the expected delivery date. I think Walmart has the potential to become a formidable opponent of Amazon if Amazon isn't careful. Literally every major brand appliance at Home Depot, at Lowe's. They are all cheaply made specifically to sell at low prices the big box stores demand. Read any review on any appliance. Most of them are rated 4.5 stars and up. However, the majority of these high reviews are either from people who just got this last week and it works amazing, or they were offered some sort of rebate for a review. Those usually say something like this review was part of a promotion or some garbage. Go deeper and look for all the reviews for people who have owned the appliance for at least a year. I guarantee the majority of them talk about how the machine failed after a few months, how the customer service basically told them to get bent, and how they would never buy from X brand or Y store again. It's sad. I don't trust a single big ticket item those stores sell. The problem is there isn't really an alternative, unless you want to pay out the nose. When you're talking about a high-use, highly engineered product like a dishwasher or a washing machine, paying more is not paying out the nose, it's paying for the machine to be built to standards that will allow it to function correctly for longer than a few months. This is a problem in American consumerism, that the cheapest thing is given preference over the quality thing, and then you end up spending more money in repairs or replacements anyways, and you have also generated a lot of trash and waste, and you are more frustrated. In general, if people saved up a little and bought higher quality things, they would actually be more fiscally responsible and generate less trash and likely be happier for not having had to deal with the crappy appliances. Starbucks. First time I ever went to one, in California in the early to mid 90s. I had never heard of them before, but upon first impression it was a nice, cheery little cafe that brewed fantastic coffee. Cut to 25 years later, and now there is a Starbucks in every town across the country, it seems. But each store now has all the charm of a fast food joint, and the coffee is nowhere near as good as it used to be. I'm German and we don't have any Starbucks stores around my small town, mostly in bigger towns. So I had Starbucks coffee a few times, but not very often. I went on vacation to New York City in October and I think I went to about 5 or 6 different Starbucks stores in about a week. Some small ones, some big ones, but they all seemed pretty cool and all had a different vibe and charm around them. I guess if you live around a Starbucks store or a few stores in general, that feeling will pass soon. But as a tourist it was pretty cool to check out a few different stores here and there. There was a really small store somewhere near the 9/11 memorial. I had breakfast and a coffee there. Felt really cozy tbh. American Girl dolls. Had them when I was younger and 20 years later they're still like brand new. Also because I took care of them. But the actual quality went down. I worked at a flagship store for a while and you could just see it quickly plummeting. The vinyl is thinner and more squishy, the hair sheds like crazy, feels waxy, and the wigs aren't as full, so there's a lot of thin spots to work around. Some new outfits look like they were made by a Midwestern mom from a Joann's discount 18-inch doll pattern. They can't seem to find the right look between Disney tween and toddler for their clothes. Target ages 8. Fabrics and silhouettes would be repeated back to back. The sneakers, which used to be made similar to regular shoes, maybe a canvas upper and rubber lower, are now all stiff rubber and just have glitter glued onto it. They're a pain to get on the doll's feet too. The books for Girl of the Year line really lack in substance, unlike the Be Forever lines which touched on important social topics and struggles kids really go through. The books went from hardcover to hearty softcover to the thin softcover you'd find in an elementary school classroom that rip easily. Also, I'm just not a fan of the illustrations they've been using since partnering with Scholastic. Also, they started selling their dolls in Kohl's and Toys R Us, LOL, and other places. They constantly try to come off as high-end, but the quality of both the product and the way they sell it, even down to the disorganization running the stores, shows otherwise. I have a lot of doll feelings apparently. I've been helping my parents downsize before they move, and I found an AG catalog from 1990. They were so amazing back then. Used to spend hours in the 90s looking through the huge catalogs. Such fond memories. Whole Foods. Food quality has gone down significantly since the Amazon acquisition, though it's also become more affordable, so the quality decline is somewhat offset. This actually started happening before Amazon took over. I used to work in the prepared food section and we would make everything right there in the back. A few years before Amazon took over, Whole Foods did what many companies have done. They stopped making food fresh on site and instead started having it made in another state and shipped to the store. The quality of the food declined massively. I remember we used to make the best mac and cheese, and the crap that came in a box was just gross. I made pizzas and we used to make our own sauce and dough at Whole Foods. That stopped as well. The dough and sauce started getting made in a different state and again the quality massively declined. Oh, and then they made me start making rectangle pizzas instead of normal circle pizzas and that mad me off. So I quit after that. I don't understand why companies think having food made in different city or even a different state and shipped to the stores is a good idea. The quality of the food always declines when they do that. That would be funny to read on a job app. Reason for leaving: rectangle pizzas instead of regular circle pizzas. Disney Channel shows. All their shows suck now compared to when I was a kid/teen. Same with Nickelodeon. In 20 years time, your kids will be saying the same thing. It's a generational thing. I've tried watching the shows I absolutely loved as a kid and they are pretty awful. It's just nostalgia. The rivalry Cartoon Network, Warner, and Nickelodeon had during the mid-90s produced some of the most beloved shows of the animation renaissance on TV. Meanwhile, Disney, Universal and that new kid called Pixar were fighting on the big screen. Rocco, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Cat Dog, Blue's Clues, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Cow and Chicken, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, all happened on very short 9 years. Just like the golden age of animation of the 40s 50s. The 2000s do have a different tone, one that's focused on big names like SpongeBob and Fairy Oddparents, and giving less budget to new creators. Also, don't need shows